baseball, America's favorite pastime, America's sport of dreams, but really actually not that watched. It's only the second most watched because the NFL is the most watched. So, this is the MLB 2022 season ranking for all 30 teams. And how was this created? Through a randomization. By doing a wheel randomizer after doing the pick number, I spun it, and it landed on MLB teams for 2022. But honestly, I have no idea what the MLB is about. I barely watch it. So that's why I have two of what I think are the most expertise-based people that I know of that know baseball more than I do. So I'll let them go ahead and introduce themselves. The first one you do know already. His name's Arash. Go ahead with your intro.
Hi. You know who I am. That's it. That's my intro.
That's his intro. All right. Second person, do your intro.
Hi, my name's Taylor. Longtime Boujuker, and it's truly an honor to be here today.
And it is an honor to have these two guys do this ranking with me. On the ranking, we have categories of, the teams from best to worst, Grand Slam, out of the park, wild cards maybe, mid is just mid, just first base, as well as Slump Nation. And to start it off, we're going to go straight to the first team, which is the Colorado Rockies. They started out not great, and they ended up basically not great at 74 and 87. Where would you guys think of putting this?
You want to go first, Taylor?
They would either be Slump Nation or at best just first base, right? Considering who they're going to be losing going into 22 as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably. I was gonna say just first base. They still got good pieces. Like they have, they have Charlie Blackmon still, and he's decent. He had a down year, I think, last year, but
Aging it.
Yeah, but they also have, Ryan
They're not going to
Altapia.
have Trevor Story, and they already do not have John Gray. Or
They
they
don't-
likely will not have Trevor Story, I should say.
Yeah, I would say they're not gonna have Trevor Story. They already lost John Gray. Their pitching is still decent. They have Herman Marquez. They have Senzatella. Kyle Freeland is, he's pretty much blossomed as the race at this point.
Yeah. Ryan McMahon's also really underrated.
They have a good amount of underrated players. Him including, and then also they have Garrett Hampson, who I really like.
I have no idea what their bullpen looks like, to be honest. I can't imagine it's great.
All right, well, in that sense,
Go ahead.
where are you going to put the Rockies? You said just first base or Slump Nation? As this is coming into the 2022 season.
Who did they sign anybody?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think. I'd have to, get all the off-season moves updated. I don't think so, though.
Didn't they sign Chastain? Who is Chastain?
Oh, did they?
It's like a 1-year pillow deal.
Yeah, right.
Not that
I
he's
mean,
gonna.
that doesn't move the needle that much. That's not going to
Yeah,
jump them a category. I think just first base is probably...
I would agree. Yeah, just first base.
Okay, we'll go ahead and move them there. Next up is the Minnesota Twins. Now, the Twins finished... where did they finish? Where's my notes? The Twins, they finished 73 and 89 at the bottom of the AL Central.
Yeah, they had a disappointing year.
Yeah, definitely.
But I don't think they're that bad of a team. For whatever reason, nothing actually came together for them last year.
I still really like their offense, to be honest.
I think it was still one of the best in the league, actually.
Yeah.
And they lost Cruz halfway through, and I think is Donaldson still there?
He is Yeah, for now. He's been in a lot of trade rumors, but yes, he is still a Twin. So
Yeah. And they have a lot of underrated players too. Matt Kepler, Polanco.
even Arise is pretty good. Not a
Rise is
great
really good.
defender, but he's pretty good offensively.
Yeah.
Did Polanco sign somewhere else, Jorge Polanco, or did he re-sign with them?
He's still with them. I don't think, isn't he?
Because he signed some contract, I remember. I don't remember if it was him re-signing with the Twins or if he went somewhere else.
Let me look that up. I know they signed Buxton to a 7-year deal.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Let's see, pitchers. They have Jorge Alcala. What? Dylan Bundy, Jordan Balazovic, Jero Cotton, Dobnak, Duffy,
Oh, yeah, Duffy.
Randy Dobnak.
Duran, Enlow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Tyler Duffy. He's a decent-
Tyler Duffy. I've heard that name before. Joe Ryan. I don't know if any of these guys, who the star pitchers are, though.
I mean, the notable one is Tyler Duffy, kind of like up and coming youngster there.
Yeah.
And then Randy Dobnak
Yeah.
isn't he like a reliever for them?
Yeah, he's pretty decent too, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Looks like their farm system is ranked 12th, so slightly above average, you know. For a team that's kind of on the rebuild, they're going to probably want to climb the ranks there. They're going to want to crack the top 10. But, yeah, pretty decent farm system.
Are they gonna do a legit rebuild though?
Doesn't seem like it, not if they resign like a Jorge Polanco or, you know,
Yeah.
going after.
I just don't see them. I don't see them really like in position to like tank. You know, like
No, yeah, because their offense
they have-
is pretty well set if they can just add some pieces on the pitching side, it seems like.
yeah. With that said, I would put the Twins in wild cards, to be honest.
Cards.
'Cause that may be a little too optimistic, but considering, I mean, they had a good year in 2020,
Yeah.
the shortened 2020 season, you know. But yeah, this stuff for whatever reason didn't come together last year. Even though I
Yeah.
really liked their team.
Yeah, I would probably just go in that middle category. I like the
So
offense.
mid?
The pitching is kind of average-ish to me, so they're probably a high mid, but I couldn't go much above that middle category.
Well, coming from my perspective, the Twins here, based on the stats at least, they were in a division that was pretty close just overall, just below the Royals by a game. So, taking into the fact that as you said, their offense was hitting strides, and as long as they keep their core, as long as they get their pitching figured out, they could become that type of team, up in that wild card spot. But I think, as I said, it's a little too optimistic. How about putting them in mid? Is that okay, Arash?
I can live with that.
Okay. Our mid team.
But,
Alrighty.
I mean, that is the division to be a middling team and win.
Yeah.
It's probably the weakest division at least in the American League.
Yeah, for sure.
Next up is the Marlins. Now, the Miami Marlins ended up really bad at 67-95, which is fourth worst, if you want to say, in the NL East. What do you think about the Marlins?
I really liked a lot of the young players that they have.
Yeah, they're a really interesting team. Yeah.
I'd still say they're a year or two away from real contention, but they have really, really good, exciting players coming
Yeah.
up.
I mean, I love Sandy Alcantara and is it Pablo Lopez?
Pablo
really
Lopez.
good. Like they both have ace potential. I think Sandy Alcantara. I think specifically, but yeah, Jazz Chisholm's really good. Pretty interesting.
Sixto Sanchez is another great pitcher.
That's another one. Yeah, he could be like a 2 or 3. It seems like, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure. And then what's his name? Brian Anderson. He had an injury. He has a history of injury, but when he's on the field, he's actually really good.
Yeah.
Isan Diaz, I think. They acquired they got Joey Wendell from the Rays too, so he's definitely gonna add some on base. Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of play all over the field, fill in all the holes, and like he's at least a average to above average hitter at his floor. So yeah, shores up the lineup a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that their only move of the offseason so far?
No, they signed Jesus Aguilar, right?
Oh, re-signed him, right?
Or Avisel Garcia, right?
Oh, that's right.
Avisel Garcia, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a good signing. He's pretty underrated.
Yeah, he's not gonna. I mean, I think what was it? Let me look it up. Yeah, it was a 4-year, $50 million deal, $53 million. I think that might be a little of an overpay for him, to be honest.
That's one more year than I probably would have given him. Ideally, the money doesn't bother me that much, though.
Mm-hmm. They also acquired Jacob Stallings from the Pirates, who was a pretty decent catcher for the Pirates.
Pretty good little catcher. Yeah. Wow, they really did. They really made some improvements. Oh.
Yeah, they traded Jorge Alfaro to the Padres, and I would say Stallings is a pretty good upgrade over him.
Yeah,
definitely Alfaro is like younger, so he has more, future potential, I guess. But
yeah.
All right. Well, where would you consider ranking these guys with that much potential, but maybe still a little raw in certain players?
They're at least a mid. I'm considering going to wild card. But
really,
what do you think?
I don't know. I think I don't know. I still think they're at least a couple of years away. I would still put them at just first base. I mean, they're playing in a pretty tough division with the Braves, and
yeah, that's true.
Braves aren't going anywhere, and then the Mets had a pretty, good offseason so far.
Yeah,
you can't count the Phillies out, so I don't know.
Yeah. I do like them as mids, though. I like the top of their rotation, and those moves that they made. I actually like every single one of them. So,
for sure,
pretty close to putting them in mid.
Okay, well,
what do you think,
dude? I mean, hearing about you guys' excitement about the Marlins, I feel like in that sense, I'd put them in a mid. Maybe that they have the potential to get started more than just a couple of years down. More like within the next couple of years, they will jump up. I don't think they'll seat the Braves too. They won't be. They might not be wild cards yet. Same thing or I don't know. I don't know if they will be able to top the Phillies in that sense. Then.
Not quite yet. Probably.
So I'll put them in the. They're technically mid/first base, but I'll go ahead with mid just for now. Alright, next up is the San Francisco Giants. I believe that's the logo, right? The San Francisco Giants went first place in the NL West. They went 107-55.
Which is still mind-boggling to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were.
A lot of things went right.
They had like an asterisk mark basically of their season.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes just all the stars align.
Yeah.
So, as far as I know, with the off season they just kind of re-signed a bunch of players, right?
Yeah, re-signed a bunch of retained a lot of players, and then lost. Obviously, they lost Kevin Gossman and.
Right.
Will most likely lose Chris Bryant. I mean, they're probably in on him just as much as anybody else, but we shall see.
Yeah.
Well, last year, I mean, like looking back, they were definitely a Grand Slam team, but it just seems to me that that was a little bit of a bubble, like the stars aligning. So, I mean, if I had to put him somewhere going into next year, I would probably knock him down one, maybe to out of the park, especially considering they're still in a division with the Dodgers and the Padres.
Would agree, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I do like their team, though. Like, everybody on that team is at least somewhat productive. Like, they have a very high floor.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just surprised with it's just that same core of guys that just always seem to produce.
Yeah, right.
I think they re-signed Belt. Crawford, I think, signed this extension earlier in the year.
Mm-hmm.
They lose Posey though, right? Posey retired,
that's
right?
true. Yeah, Buster Posey did retire. Who do they? So I guess it'll go to. Is it Joey Bart?
Yeah.
He's their former top prospect. I'm not sure what he kind of looks like right now, especially over the course of a full season. But they're definitely going to miss Buster Posey's bat at the very least going into next season.
Sure, yeah. He had quite a resurgent year, actually.
Yeah, and Brandon Crawford put out like amazing, like borderline MVP type numbers, which I was not expecting out of him at this point in his career.
Yeah, honestly. But yeah, I agree. Out of the park seems like a reasonable place.
All right, sounds good. Looks like they will be trying to get back and win out the NL West again, but up on their heels is the San Diego Padres. They finished up 79 and 83, third in the same division. They were a hot team, I know of, but they sizzled a little bit at the very end.
A lot of it.
A lot of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the craziest demises of second half any team could have happened. You know?
If I had to make a project, like a research project about the 2021 season, it would definitely be on what happened to the San Diego Padres in the second half of the season.
Yeah.
I fully don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess chemistry could do a lot of different things, I guess.
Yeah, definitely chemistry. Pitching, Blake Snell wasn't quite himself until the last kind of third of the season, it seemed like. Darvish
and then he got injured.
Either. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he got injured when he started getting better. Darvish wasn't really himself. Ryan Weathers was a bad rookie.
Yeah. They did get the best version of Joe Musgrove that you could probably ever possibly have, it seems like, though.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And then they acquired Adam Frazier at the deadline, which I felt was kind of a weird move. I don't think they really needed another infielder.
No, not too much. And he never really had a place there, and he was kind of average, I guess. Just kind of an average player down the stretch for them.
Yeah. But, I'm hoping that they get I want to see a full, healthy year from Tatis.
Oh, yeah.
Because, him being injured a few times probably, put a damper on that.
Yeah, that shoulder it's kind of a concern now, because I know he's had it dislocated, I want to say 2 or 3 times within the last year and a half.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he was their
great year, though,
he was their starter.
Yeah.
So looking at 2022 going in, are they still one of the more favorited teams to come out?
I would still put them in either wild card or out of the park. Arash, I don't know if you have a preference between the two.
I would honestly put them out of the park.
I think so.
So if they can actually have a good, healthy pitching staff, I think they could really be a contender again this year.
Yeah, because I really like Will Myers. I mean, he's not a stud, but he's really solid. Same with Trent Grisham.
Oh, yeah.
So I like their outfield.
Yeah,
obviously their infield is probably the best. My favorite infield in baseball, between Tatis and Machado and Cronenworth and Hosmer's kind of a meh, but
yeah, I'd say Hosmer was more. I mean, Hosmer was kind of the initiation of we're going out and we're gonna try to contend.
Right. Yeah.
He hasn't really panned out, but
yeah, he's just he's average first baseman. I mean, it just sucks when you pay him $23 or $24 million a year, but
yeah. I mean, honestly, like, both the Giants and the Padres would have to, you know, fight against the Dodgers for the #1 spot. But I would say between the Giants and the Padres, I feel the Padres have the better chance.
Yeah, I'd say so.
We do.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll go ahead and put it on out of the park. Next up is, I have no idea what this logo is. Is this the Braves? Oh, okay. So here is the NL East champ. Yes, World Series champion of the 2021 season. Somehow only won 88 games and 73 losses. Yet they still won in a pretty mediocre NL East kind of conference. Or at least by the numbers. Are they a championship team, you guys think? Or are they gonna regress?
To me, like, they're kind of the opposite of the Padres. They were kind of middle of the road for a majority of the year, and then the last couple months they seem to have just surged.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, on the opposite end, chemistry definitely carried them, while it had the opposite effect on the Padres. I would give them a little bit of a cushion as well, though. Like, I wouldn't write it off because they did that all without Ronald Acuna. So
that's true.
To add him back into the equation next year, I'd say that makes up for some of that maybe overinflation of the result that you saw last year. So for me, they're probably out of the park as well. I don't know if that sounds unreasonable, but
that's pretty good to me. I mean, they still got a pretty good young core with Austin Riley and Swanson and Albies.
Yeah, Riley.
And I don't know if
Albies and Acuna on two of the most team-friendly contracts I've ever seen for like young stud players. But
yeah, for sure,
their benefit.
And even their pitching too. You know, they have what's his face, Max Fried, Ian Anderson, Mike Soroka.
Yeah, pretty good plug and play offense too. If they have like an ace, because I like Max Fried, he's more of a number 2 in my eyes. If they had a true ace, they would probably be maybe even closer to a step ahead. But
yeah, for sure. I mean, they have a lot of. I mean, they stocked up at one point on a lot of pitching prospects, but none of them really pan out to be like a true ace. Remember, they had like Sean Newcomb. They had Tuki Toussaint or whatever.
Oh yeah, Julio Teheran, right? I was pretty high on him for a while.
Yeah, whatever happened to him? I think he went to like the Angels at some point, huh?
I felt for the past like 5 years that he's going to end up on the Mariners. For some reason, he just seems like a Mariner to me. But yeah, he was always kind of middling, and I don't know, just hasn't panned out quite yet. But yeah, I had forgot they didn't have Mike Soroka for most of last year. I probably forgot he existed. But yeah, them having him healthy as well will be a big benefit. So.
And I think they re-signed Morton, right, for this year?
Yeah.
Morton?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's been for his age, he's been producing still.
Yeah. Man, when he's on, he is pretty close to an ace. He's at least a 1.5, right? So yeah.
I
like him in that out of the park category.
You know if Ozuna is still on the roster technically?
I don't know. I think you have to go whatever the courts decide on that. But
yeah.
I thought I saw something that he was cleared, so he'll probably play next season. But I don't know. I'd have to look into that again. But yeah,
I would go out of the park with them. Honestly,
yeah,
I think they're the favorites to win the East again.
Yeah,
so they'll get up there. All right, that sounds like a fair choice for the World Series championship team. Next up is the hometown favorites-esque, so a little bit bias. Seattle Mariners. The Seattle Mariners finished just outside of the wild cards. They went 90-72.
I have no idea about this team. I've never heard of.
Well, it's actually it's finally the one team that I could at least talk a little bit about. But the hype is still there. The air of the hype of them getting to the next season, into the offseason, as long as they make the right moves, they will be coming into the 2022 season as a favorite to at least get into the wild card for the AL West in a weird, very close division here. Losing Kyle Seager, it kind of sucks, but I really liked how Mitch Haniger finished out, as well as a few of the other guys.
Yeah, it's hard to project where they're going to go because there's a lot of different forces. Like, you're going to have a lot of guys making progress and taking a step up next year. However, I can't imagine the bullpen performing as good as it did last year just because not many bullpens can. So there's just areas where I could see regression, but, maybe some of that cancels out with progression of the younger players. So where that kind of evens out, I'm not sure. But, the offseason moves so far in the limited. Then they will do more once the offseason resumes, but Robbie Ray is a solid, probably a number 2, right? He's our number 1, but he's effectively a number 2 starter, so that's very good for the rotation. Adam Frazier's a nice player. Like, he's really solid, high floor, positional versatility. So...
what he said.
Okay.
So I think it's a lot of question marks for sure.
We would have to. We definitely need the better version of Jared Kelenic next year. If we have the not good version of him for all of next season, then that's really going to be a drag down. But if the version we saw of him the last 4 to 6 weeks is what could we kind of get from him the entire season next year, that's a good enough upgrade to where I feel like we've kind of taken the next step.
I still have high hopes for him. I think he'll be good.
I do too. I'm just hoping that he's ready.
I'm actually more confident of that we're going to get a better Jared Kelenic than we are of us getting like a 2021 version of JP Crawford, to be honest. I don't know if Crawford could hit another 285 this year, or next year rather.
Yeah, I don't love him as the leadoff man, to be honest. He's just not a high enough on base guy for me.
Yeah, I mean, he has good speed, he brings good energy, but I see him more with that energy at the bottom of the lineup.
Yeah, and if our lineup was an ideal spot, which is clearly not, because we were bad last year offensively, like objectively, like he would be probably in the 8 or 9 hole, 7, 8, 9, but
then who would you put? Who would you put as a leadoff then?
Of what we have now, I mean, if you go by the philosophy of where you want to give your best player the most at bats, you'd probably put like Ty France there, even though he's not fast or anything. But I mean, he's probably the best on base threat, and if that gets him extra at bat every game, I'd rather have him take another swing.
I'd rather him be like a second in the lineup to possibly like a Mitch Haniger, like they tried him out.
Yeah,
true.
In like 2018 Mitch Haniger, I would have liked in the leadoff spot. Now he seems more like of a straight up power guy, a little bit lower on base. So that kind of dissuades me from the leadoff spot a bit. You can maybe put Adam Frazier in the leadoff spot. I don't know if I love that either, but he has a high enough contact, to where like he's a little notch above JP, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, the one thing about losing Kyle Seager is that you lose just a pure power hitter, which he was, versus Mitch Haniger's like a good all-around hitter. I would rather have an all-around hitter as your leadoff guy rather than your cleanup guy.
I just don't know if Mitch Haniger is quite a good all-around hitter. Like, he's better than Kyle Seager was for sure, but he's also doesn't look like 2018 Mitch, who was a good all-around hitter.
That's true. Yeah.
But hopefully, another year past his injuries, maybe he'll become more. I think he'll pick up more agility, become a little bit more. Maybe progressing toward his older self, because he was out for a year and a half. So. Yeah.
As far as the offense, like, I'm confident our offense is going to be better than last year. I mean, last year was just kind of, I mean, we got no hit like twice within as many months. Like, if you take those out, like, we wouldn't be like in the 220s. You know what I mean? Like, we had the Mariners just had a lot of players like in the first month or two that were batting 100 for whatever reason. So
And by
Cool.
getting Adam Frazier, I think you eliminate at bats from Dylan Moore and guys who ended up batting a buck 80 for the entire season. So you definitely raise your floor with a move like that. They definitely would need another bat, I think. So
Another bat, maybe another pitcher. Although, I'm
I've
pretty.
heard that that's in the plan, that he wants to get at least a number 3 type starter. What form that'll be, but it seems like that'll probably be by trade. So,
Well, I would not put Ty France up as lead hitter because he has the best stat line for getting hit and going on base, and usually the first batter never gets hit. So I want to see his streak continue.
but the first batter usually does get on base. So if he's doing that, I'd be thrilled.
What about putting someone like Abraham Toro right at the start?
He has that potential. I'd have to see more out of him.
I mean, switch hitter with good speed, high contact. He has the potential, sure.
Yeah, I definitely want to see more out of him. The last month and a half of the season for him looked pretty rough, but I like his swing. He looks like a gap to gap kind of guy. Definitely was getting more comfortable at second base. He's, I think, originally a third baseman, so I think second, third, maybe some corner outfield. I think he's at least an average defender at all those. So
Yeah, so like our pitching, I think is probably going to be more underrated than most people would think. Like our bullpen, I do agree might implode. I just don't see the same like 3 or 4 guys like sustaining our bullpen all year. But our starting pitching, I think, is going to be a force.
yeah. Well, and also those same 3 guys don't have to sustain the bullpen because you do have Ken Giles coming back from Tommy John, who's really solid, and
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Andres Munoz, who pitched the last game of last year. I really liked what I saw out of him. He was a little wild in that game, but he has, he throws 102 with like good run. Had a pretty good slider. Seemed like he was getting a good feel for it as that inning that he pitched kind of went on. So
Yeah. I'm just really excited for the year that Logan Gilbert is going to have.
Oh yeah, that's one.
I don't see him as like an ace necessarily. Like
a 3
I see
that
him
could top out of
a
the
good
2.
3. I see like George Kirby as our future ace among like all the pitching prospects that we have. But
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, so where would you guys put the Mariners?
I would say wild cards, yeah.
Do you guys believe? Do you guys believe in the Mariners? Will they finally make the playoffs?
I mean, they still have to go, fight the Astros,
Yeah, we'll get
I
to
don't
them
think the
later. But
Astros-
yeah, the Astros aren't taking much of a step back.
True.
Maybe I'd wanted them to. But
All right. Well,
get to them.
let's hope. That's all we can do is believe.
yeah.
All right. Next up is the Los Angeles Dodgers. I believe that's the LA Dodgers. They went second in the NL West, 1 game right behind the Giants, and they went 106 to 56. They are a powerhouse team. At least I think so.
Just put them on Grand Slam and let's just
I was going to
move
say,
on.
yeah, they're probably Grand Slam. I wasn't even going to talk about that.
Yeah, yeah, they're not going anywhere, and kind of just sucks to see them lose to the Braves, but they were supposed to be the favorites.
I mean, their team is largely the same, right? The only player that I can think of is Clayton Kershaw has yet to resign, but
They lost Seager, Corey Seager.
Oh, and they did lose Seager, but they acquired Trey Turner, who I actually like quite a bit more than Corey Seager. So
Yeah, and they re-signed Chris Taylor, who's a pretty decent all-around infielder too.
So they have enough talent to fill the holes of whatever they may be missing. I mean, they probably have the most depth of any team in MLB, especially on the pitching side. So
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I have to say about these guys is they have Mookie Betts, and I like him.
You don't like him?
I like him. The
yeah.
only reason I like him is because he's a great bowler. But anyways, I'll stick the LA Dodgers in the Grand Slam category because they deserve it.
They'll hit plenty of those.
They'll be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the opposite spectrum, we're going down to the Orioles. The Orioles finished at the bottom of the AL East at 52 and 110 losses. What the heck?
They're a slump nation.
They're gonna. Yeah, they are the Jacksonville Jaguars of the MLB.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to be down in the slump nation. Honestly.
Good
They're
riddance.
probably the one team I would put down there. And so far, they haven't really done anything as far as major moves. I think they signed Rougned Odor or something to a one-year deal. He's not going to turn any heads.
No.
They have they have John Means,
Cedric Mullins.
I saw some rumors that they might trade him for whatever.
I mean, you can get quite a haul
can
for him at this point. I mean, I don't quite see Cedric Mullins being the player that he was last year every year. Maybe he'll prove me wrong, but if they did want to keep the rebuild going and trade off, like a John Means or a Cedric Mullins, they could definitely rake in some prospects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or even a Trey Mancini. He had a resurging year last year.
Yeah, he's a really solid player. Yeah.
I really like Ryan Mountcastle.
Yeah, he is really good too. They have some pieces that are starting to lock into place, but I mean, it's the very early stages. They're
they're
a few years away from being in any sort of consideration.
Yeah, they're gonna get the first pick this year. So
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what they're gonna go with as far as their number one overall.
Yeah, we'll see on that. Yeah. They're just not great. They just need a lot of work.
They do have a good farm system, though. They're probably in the top 6 or 7, I'd imagine, at this point. Adley Rushman looks like a really good catching prospect coming up for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next few, maybe
year.
years, a couple years, 3-4 years, maybe you'll see their farm system come up and actually pull this team out of its slump. Next up, we're gonna go to the Boston Red Sox. Boston Red Sox, the favorite teams of a lot of people. They went 92 and 70, second in the AL East, technically second, because they beat the Yankees, but they had the same scores, but still a good team, I believe.
They're definitely one of the top two. One of the top 2 tiers. They signed, or not signed, they acquired Jackie Bradley Jr. Back from the Brewers, which was an interesting trade. I think they traded Hunter Renfroe or something. That's right.
So
not
definitely,
the Raiders.
definitely upgrading outfield defense and trading away a little bit of offense, or actually a lot of bit of offense, but
But they have plenty of offense.
Yeah, exactly. They're deep enough to where that doesn't matter. And because their outfield defense was getting a little sketchy, so that's probably a good move. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say about them. I mean, I like, Nathan Eovaldi had a really good season. He's still pretty good.
They signed a trio of pitchers this year. They signed Waka, James Paxton, and Rich Hill. Rich Hill was with the Boston Red Sox at one point in his career before.
47 years ago, yes.
Yeah, eternity ago. He is, I'm surprised that he's actually still kicking it now.
Honestly, I like Rich Hill, and he's still somewhat effective, but he has the potential to where if things kind of slip for him playing in Fenway, he's going to see a lot of right-handed bats, him being left-handed. He could get lit up if things start sliding south for him. But James Paxton, I think, is a good move for them. I think he, coming back from Tommy John, as long as he's healthy, which maybe that might not be until May or June that they probably see him, but he could be a stud. At his best, he's definitely a number 2 at least. Chris Sale, they got back. He didn't quite look like the old Chris Sale, but he's at least still a very solid starting pitcher, so they'll have a full season of him. Offense is still really good.
Pretty deep pitching staff, I'd say.
Yeah.
Um, I would put them. I would put them Grand Slam, to be honest with you.
Oh, would you go Grand Slam? I don't know if I was quite ready to do that. I would definitely out of the park at least, but I don't know. I would go
For
with
sure,
out of the park.
at least out of the park, yeah.
Yeah, they definitely
They
are.
still have their core, you know. They still have their young core with. They have Bogarts, they have Devers, they have Verdugo. Did they lose Vasquez, or is he still with the?
Don't know.
Not that Vasquez was an eye-catching name, but
Yeah, but pretty solid offensive catcher. Pretty good defensively too. He's pretty solid.
they had Dahlbeck as well. Like,
Yeah,
they have a.
wrote some stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe
for the
Red
most
Sox
part,
should
but
be. They should be back up there. But are they a complete team? Because that's what the Dodgers would be, as a Grand Slam.
Yeah,
I don't
they
see
did
that
lose
many holes.
Eduardo Rodriguez. I don't know. I think. Well, I guess.
Oh,
with
they did.
Paxton-
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, but
They-
with Paxton coming in, yeah, they did shore up the rotation for whatever they may have lost.
Okay, that makes me think more of Grand Slam then.
Okay, I'll live with that. They're a lighter Grand Slam for me than the Dodgers are.
Yeah, definitely. The Dodgers are way
Sure.
might be a bit above them, but in order based. Moving along, next up is in the same division as the Boston Red Sox in the AL East is the Tampa Bay Rays. They were actually the ones who won the division at 100 wins to 62 losses. I don't know, they were still a really good team. They got their manager of the year, Kevin Cash.
Again.
Again.
Yeah. I like to address the elephant in the room here and start with the Wander Franco extension.
Yeah.
Freaking nuts, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, pretty
Considering
low
it's
risk.
the Rays.
Definitely low risk on the Rays end because even if he doesn't turn out to be a super stud, which I think he is going to be very, very good, even if he's not, that's still an easily movable contract for some other team. Which, to be honest, Wander Franco's probably not going to finish that contract with the Rays. They'll probably trade him at some point, given their payroll restraints. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, he's a stud, and he already looks like a stud too. So I expect a pretty big year out of him.
Certainly.
But yeah, they're solid. They just keep on chugging. They maximize every little bit of value they can get out of any player.
Yeah. Looks like they signed Corey Kluber to a 1-year deal and
That's
Brooks
pretty good.
Raley to a 2-year deal.
Really solid. Yeah, solid little moves. They lost Joey Wendell, right?
They lost Joey Wendell. They traded Mike Brosseau, and they traded Brent Honeywell to the A's. They traded Jordan Luplow to the Diamondbacks, looks like. But they're not, like, so they made some trade. They traded away some pieces, but it's not like they were part of their main core, I would say.
Yeah.
Maybe other than Joey Wendell, maybe. But they still have, obviously Franco, and they have Brett Phillips and Kevin Kiermaier,
Yandy Diaz.
Yandy Diaz,
And they have the
Troy.
Rookie of the Year, Randy Arozarena.
Rosarena, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I like their pitching too, with Shane McClanahan and
Yeah. Fairbanks is even pretty good.
Fairbanks. Yeah, the Rays have always been just an interesting team that just always seems to overachieve. You can never count them out. Austin Meadows too. I always liked him. Brandon Lau.
Mike Zunino's doing his thing. Even a little bit better offensively last year, but
Yeah, I'm happy for him. Yeah.
yeah, I am too. I wish he was a Mariner still, but
Yeah. Now definitely low key.
yeah, you definitely missed the catching ability at least.
So with all those pieces, are they another Grand Slam team?
They'd be an out of the park for me.
I mean,
They're just so
Isn't
solid across the board. They don't have anybody on there that is just maybe, with the exception of maybe like a Wander Franco coming up, but like no one on their team is like a stud. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they all come together, you know. Like the thing is, like if we're putting the Boston Red Sox in Grand Slam, wouldn't it be a disservice to the Rays if we did not put them in Grand Slam as well?
Yeah, I guess so.
Since they won the division by like 10 games, so
Yeah.
I mean, you could be that could be the case, but you could also be like the Seattle Seahawks, win the division year before and then be last place the next year.
What's
Rays
the
could
rotation
do
look like
that.
going into next year in the Rays?
they got Tyler Glasnow, they got Shane McClanahan, Shane Baz, Corey Kluber, obviously.
Yeah.
Fairbanks is a reliever, isn't he? Like they're,
Yeah.
Oh, Ryan Yarbrough, Josh
Oh,
Fleming.
Yeah.
So
So
they-
Glasnow, is he going to be ready for opening day come next season?
I don't know actually.
I do like Tyler Glasnow a lot, but and Shane Baz too. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Just to put him in Grand Slam, I would want to see a little bit more of a like the front half of the rotation, like a little more meat there.
Okay. I'll go to Grand Slam then. I'll put them right here next, in between the Dodgers and the Red Sox are fun. All right. Next up is the Philadelphia Phillies, who went second, missing the playoffs by 2 games. Went 82 and well, not 2 games. They were down actually quite a bit. 82 to 80, almost 500. Are they a mid team like their record, or should they be better?
Obviously the offseason's not over, so more things can happen, but up till now I don't think they're really a better team. You know? They
Yeah,
haven't
not
really
quite
done
just yet.
anything. As far as their roster right now, as far as like obviously they have Harper, they have Reese Hoskins, they have Real Muto. You know.
Dean Segura is still pretty solid little second baseman / third baseman.
Yeah, I mean they have, you know, individually solid pieces, but I just don't see them like as like a team to come together really.
Yeah, they have Zach Wheeler, who's really, really solid now. Really good. Definitely number 1.
Mm-hmm.
After that,
Alec
Aaron
Bohm is-
Nola. Having a
Aaron
healthy
Nola, yeah.
Aaron Nola, yeah. I think did they sign Corey Knievel? Is that right?
They did, yeah, and that'll
Yeah.
definitely help in the back end of the bullpen.
Yeah, that's a really good pickup for them, yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle Gibson is there. He's kind of middle of the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Eflin.
But yeah, Zach Eflin's there. Alvarado's there. But I just don't see a team coming together. They might be like still another year or 2 away.
Yeah, Alec Bohm's been really disappointing to me. Especially
Yeah. I'm high on him though, you know.
Yeah, I
I'm
am
high on
too.
him.
If they get a good version of him, I think that would be a big one for them. But to me, I don't know. Do you see them as like mid to wild card maybe?
I would say mid. Just
Mid. Okay. Oh, the
Especially-
MVP for the National League was Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Yeah,
It was
really
a
Weird.
waste. It was a waste.
What a
of
waste.
MVP.
Yeah.
Definitely need 1 or 2 more bats, but I do pretty good rotation. Bullpen's decent, you know.
We'll put them in the mid for now. See how they do. Hopefully they don't not ruin, but let down their MVP. Next up is the next up is the Oakland Athletics, the team that is having a lot of money issues recently, but they are in the 3rd in AL West with 86
They've
and
always had money
76.
Yeah.
I mean, they've always
They
had
really
money
did
issues.
about their money.
I mean, of course they did. Their Moneyball scheme was it worked for like 2 years, and then they again went back to having like a lot of issues. And the A's, they were, or not the A's, yeah, the A's, Athletics, they were, I mean, they were strong at the start, and then again faltered quite a bit. Where are they at now?
Seriously faltered to the Mariners.
I mean, yeah.
The Mariners, beat them an inordinate amount of times.
Yeah, the Mariners swept the Athletics. Yeah, I mean, all of their series.
A bunch of times.
Yeah.
Like, for whatever reason, like, and I always felt like no matter how good or bad the Athletics were, the Mariners never really had a problem with them. But
yeah, true.
They had their number, definitely.
Yeah.
But as far as like,
also
like
projecting this, they're gonna be going into next year with, they will be trading off players before the season starts. So, like Matt Olson probably won't be an Athletic going into it. Same with Manaea, maybe Chapman. So, like, they will be entering a rebuild phase.
Suppose, yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens like after the lockout. That's supposed to happen, but on paper, like, those guys are still on the roster. So on paper, they're still a pretty good team.
Yeah, with them on there, yeah.
But with projection, kind of, like a thought of maybe it could happen.
Yeah, assuming yes that they're gonna do a complete fire sale, then then they're definitely a bottom tier team.
I'm okay putting that there. I mean, the organization is imploding as well a little bit. A lot of talks are about trying to sell the Athletics. That rumor, I mean, the rumor's been there for a while, but it is getting hotter and hotter, especially this year.
It seems like the new ballpark's gonna work out.
So, you think all of those outside issues is going to put the Athletics down this year, or are they going to stay true and try to fight in the middle?
I would always give a higher floor to the Athletics, right? Like, I wouldn't put them in Slump Nation, even if we're projecting out like what their 22 season will be,
Yeah,
but
I would honestly put them probably mid to, like, even assuming that they're going to trade Olsen and Matt Chapman and Laureano, whoever, they lost Mark Cannon to free agency. They lost Marte to free agency, and they lost one other guy. They might even trade Sean Murphy for whatever they can get. You never know. But,
I would take a Sean Murphy.
I would take a Sean.
I mean, as a catcher, heck yeah.
If they want to trade Murphy, I'd be totally down.
Yeah. But yeah, the A's have always been kind of an unfortunate team that, like, they just can't, like, deal with their payroll. And as their players get good, then they get too expensive for them.
Right.
That's what's happening now.
Yeah.
So.
They're the same. They're like very similar to the Rays, but the Rays seem to have the better ability to go further into the postseason for one reason or another. But, yeah. Same kind of mold.
So what are we putting in the A's? Are we putting them mid then, just as normal?
Yeah.
I would say mid, just because you can never count them out.
I don't want to just assume that they're going to do a complete fire sales, but yeah.
All right,
They
then.
always seem to overperform anyways.
True.
Yeah, exactly. They have the higher floor than obviously the Orioles would. So
they are definitely competitive, staying true to themselves. Not really in as much. Well, actually, also in the same mid category is the Cincinnati Reds. NL Central third went 83-79. I don't know anything about the Reds, so have at it.
They're also an interesting team.
yeah.
They have, they obviously have the two superstars with Jesse Winker and Nick Castellanos.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, they didn't really have that much depth behind them. I guess Jonathan India, he was like rookie of the year. I think,
rookie of the year. He showed some promise. Pretty good player.
Yeah. Like, everything under them was just kind of like, like beach kind of stuff,
Yeah. I don't know a whole lot about their pitching staff beyond like the Castillos and the
They lost Lorenzen. They have Stevenson. Who else do
Sonny
they have?
Gray is there.
That's
That's
right.
cool.
And they might just trade Sonny Gray though.
Yeah, I've heard rumors like and it seems like Castellanos is not going to be re-signing with them either.
Yeah, they traded Tucker Barnhart as well. I remember.
Oh, that's right.
But I don't know. I feel like they might just end up doing a fire sale too.
Yeah,
Because Joey Votto is not getting any younger.
yeah. Good
and
second
they
half
have-
of the season for him, but
Yeah,
Not-
for sure. But definitely in the. He must be close to the end of his contract, isn't he?
I would think so. Maybe a couple of years left, something like that.
Yeah. And they also have like you said, Sonny Gray. They're probably going to trade him. Eugenio Suarez. They might. Mike Moustakas has been kind of a shit show for them.
Yeah.
But as far as their pitching, I really like Tyler Mahle,
Mhm.
and then Amir Garrett.
They have is Tanner Roark still there?
Ooh, he might actually.
Not that he's like a difference maker, but I know he's like a number 5 or 4 type starter.
I haven't even thought about that guy, to be honest.
Yeah, right. How much do you?
Kind of look at off-season moves by them. The only off-season move from them was just trading Tucker Barnhart.
Yeah, pretty much.
Um,
But also, in terms of this ranking, like Nick Castellanos isn't currently a Red, right? He's a free agent. So
he was a free agent, and I don't think he's going to sign.
yeah, so like for me, as they sit now, they're kind of the mid-tier kind of team. But I mean, if they trade away these players, like if they trade the Sonny Grays or Tyler Malleys or the possibly a Jesse Winker or a Luis Castillo, like they would definitely slide down a tier for me. But as they sit right now, they're kind of right in the middle, I think.
Yeah. But,
They're
like,
middle of it. Okay.
What is really their intention? I mean, the A's were pretty clear in their intentions
Mhm.
this offseason,
Yeah.
but the Reds.
They've
I don't
and
know.
the Reds have been in a lot of talks around certain players of theirs, but if they go anywhere, I'm not sure. They're in a spot where they could just kind of decide to keep going for it, but
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like, but at the same time, like, you can sell high on a lot of these players. Like, you can get a boatload of prospects for Winker right now.
oh god, yeah.
True.
Even Castillo or Malley would take quite a load. Even though Castillo's been kind of up and down a little bit, still a lot of potential and a couple of years of club control.
All right. Well,
When it hits.
next up, I went ahead and put the Cincinnati Reds in the mid category. And the next up is the Arizona Diamondbacks. They finished at the bottom of the NL West. They are the NL West version of the Orioles at 52 and 110 losses.
Yeah, rough go for them.
Yeah,
They fought just as hard as the Orioles.
definitely a lot more talent on that team than the Orioles.
True.
He didn't quite have a healthy Ketel Marte the whole year, but when he was healthy, he looked like the old Ketel Marte. So
Yeah, for sure. They got, they have a lot of they have a good amount of bad contracts too, like Mad Bum.
yeah,
They're kind of stuck with them at this point.
yeah,
But they also have a really good, young core that's building.
Mhm.
More so, like you said, than the Orioles. I think
yeah. I love Carson Kelly.
Carson Kelly. I like Pavin Smith too. Who was the guy who pitched a no-hitter on his debut? Gilbert, something Gilbert.
It's like Tyler Gilbert.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah, like
and
Luke
Caleb
Weaver,
Smith,
kind of decent.
Luke Weaver, yeah, Zach Allen. Love
Yeah.
Zach Allen.
Yeah, they're kind of middle of the rotation guys but plus, I think they could each play above what they have so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's the other guy? Merrill Kelly.
Yeah.
Kelly's also pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as far as off-season moves, I think I mentioned they acquired Jordan Luplow from the Rays, and they signed Mark Melanson. That'll help in their bullpen in the back end for sure.
A little bit. I don't love Mark Melanson, but he's at least decent, you know.
Yeah. I mean, who was their closer last year?
I couldn't even tell you. I don't know if I can name anybody in their bullpen aside from Mark Melanson now. Is Tyler Clippard there? Is that right?
Didn't he look like the Yankees or something?
Oh, that sounds right. Okay.
They have, Corbin Martin or something like that. They got a pretty good prospect call from when they traded Greinke to the Astros. Remember?
That is true. Yeah.
They got like 4 of their top 10 or top 30 prospects or something.
Yeah.
J.B. Bukowskis was one of them. Pretty high on him.
Well, seeing all of this, are they a potential team, or are they still needing it
a couple
down?
years away? Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably just first base for me, I would say.
Yeah, same here.
Okay.
They definitely have potential, but it's still gonna be a couple years.
All right. Then, going forward, we have the Cardinals. Right? Cardinals? Yeah, totally. I'm not looking at the wrong list here. Where am I going? Oh, here it is. St. Louis Cardinals, NL Central. They went into the wild card, ended up 90-72.
Most of those wins were seemed like in the last month of the season.
Yeah, they came up quite a bit.
Yeah, they had like a 17, 18 game winning streak, I want to say. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something crazy like that.
Yeah.
That's history in the making.
Which I was surprised that they were kind of a mediocre team for the majority of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, looking over their roster here, they added Steven Matz, which is a good pickup.
Yeah, I'm surprised he got 4 years out of it though.
Yeah, really.
The money is not too like $40 million or something.
Yeah, so I guess trade off
the
kind of a lower salary than I'd expect for maybe kind of an extra year. But yeah, good pickup for the rotation.
Yeah. Overall, I really like their roster. I mean, not much has really changed from the roster, I'm pretty sure. Molina's signed for another year, always.
Yeah. Adam Wainwright is still there, I believe. Right.
Wainwright is still there. He's kicking. Tyler O'Neill, man, I still wish he was still a Mariner at this point, but we got Gonzalez. So.
Yeah, I mean the trade is what it is, but I mean it's like you'd like to have him back at this point because I would love a left fielder. But Harrison Bader is good defensive center fielder, and his bat's coming around a little bit.
Very athletic. Very athletic.
Yeah,
Comes to the ground
very athletic. One of the better center fielders.
He still got Goldschmidt. He's still raking.
Yeah, he's kind of coming back around, kind of rebounded a little bit.
Yeah. And Arenado, forgot about him. Forget about him. I really like what's his closer, Alex Reyes.
Yeah,
Reyes and Jordan Hicks. I mean, those two.
Jordan Hicks. He feels like 105 or something, right? Jordan Hicks.
Yeah, something crazy like that. Actually, their whole pitching staff is pretty good, don't you think? Jack Flaherty.
Yeah, I'm pretty high on all those guys.
I think what's his name? Miles Michaelis is there.
Yeah, Miles Michaelis. Yeah, he's solid.
You're just hoping for more.
What a Hudson.
At this point, I think for the Cardinals, they're just hoping for better performances step forwards for Dylan Carlson and Tommy Edman and
Dylan Carlson's a big one.
I think they're hoping for a bounce back from Paul DeYoung.
Yeah, even Edmundo Sosa was even kind of an interesting, like, pretty good defense.
Oh yeah,
Curious to see if the bat comes around. Yeah, he could be kind of a wild card player for them. But yeah,
yeah.
overall, yeah.
So where would you guys rank this team, though?
Wild cards.
Hmm. So yeah, I think they're better than wild cards, but
Yeah,
not
I was gonna say they're
not
definitely
as
high
good as out of the
wild
park.
cards. I just don't know if I'm ready to put them in the same tier as like the Giants.
Yeah. Put them to the left of the Mariners.
Yeah.
Left of the Mariners? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, well, next up are two drastically little different teams, both in New York. Starting off with the New York Yankees. New York Yankees, part of the AL East, finished up tied with Boston Red Sox at 92 and 70, but they lost to the Red Sox in the wild card round. And they got some big names on the Yankees.
Like always.
Yeah. Physically big.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. This isn't like me hating on the Yankees, but like I just don't think that they're that upper tier still. I mean, even with the big names that they have, I just don't think that they're a complete team yet.
Yeah, I still have some lineup questions with them. Kind of the back half of the rotation, bullpen a little bit here and there too. Let me see.
They just need some bounce back performances from like Chapman and LeMahieu, Luke Voigt, and if they can, and Gary Sanchez for sure needs to start stepping up again.
I don't know what Gary Sanchez is anymore. Of like what you can expect out of him year to year.
Yeah.
DJ LeMahieu, I think, is coming down. Like I think this is closer to the DJ LeMahieu. Like the actual version of him is closer to what we're seeing now than it was, 2 years ago. Like the first season he was with them, but even still, I think he has a little more upside than that. Giancarlo Stanton is really actually starting to come back around again. Judge is still pretty much Aaron Judge. As long as they can stay healthy, the Yankees definitely have more of the injury bug than the average team does.
Yeah, for sure.
They got Joey Gallo.
They do have Joey Gallo, yeah.
Yeah, if they have the Joey Gallo that looks like Joey Gallo, that's actually a huge upgrade for them.
Yeah, I think that they lost Rizzo to free agency, didn't they? That was just a half year rental.
Yes, yeah. Like basically, you just give it to Luke Voigt, I would assume, right?
Well, you give it to Gallo, right?
What, first base?
Oh, I don't know. I'd rather him play. I mean, he can play first base. I mean, would you rather him be in the outfield versus like Hicks or?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I forgot about. Does Aaron Hicks? Is he still under? He has quite a few more years left, I think. Right? Yeah, it's just weird. I don't know.
I mean, obviously you take the bat over Hicks, but I mean, if the bat's going to be in the lineup anyways.
He's a Gold Glove winner, though. Not in center field, really, but
That's true, but I mean, you have Judge in right.
True.
Yeah, Judge is part of your outfield. Joey Gallo is more of a right field for the Gold Glove.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to play in center. Like I could probably see that.
You can pass him for. I mean, you put your bad outfielders in left field anyways, so I guess you can put him there. But
Joey Gallo's not a bad outfielder though. He's quite the opposite.
I don't know. I guess I just can't imagine like him because he is quite a. I mean, he has long strides, I guess, but I always pictured him as a bat first player.
He won a Gold Glove though.
I do know that, yeah. Was it last year?
2 years ago.
Well, he won it this year.
Was it this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, he won it
I hope
for
hopefully
right
the
field.
bat comes back around because he just didn't do a whole lot after he was traded there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, I'll be darned, he did get it this year. Okay. Never mind.
yeah, he's no slouch.
Um,
But I mean, Yankee Stadium, you're playing with like short porches. It's a little bit different environment, but
that's true.
I don't wonder what he would look like in center. I don't know if he could quite pull that off. Probably not rangy enough, I'd imagine. But
No. I mean, who else would you really put right now at center for them, anyways?
yeah, it wouldn't be Stanton, wouldn't be Judge. Even though I think Judge has played a little bit, but still definitely not your ideal center fielder.
Who did they play in center this year a lot? Other
Gardner?
Hicks, I guess. Oh, Gardner, that's true.
Is he still there? Did he retire finally? Or is
I
he
don't
just
think he retired,
kind of
but he's just a
free agent? Quote, yeah.
Yeah, he's a free
Who
agent.
else would resign Brett Gardner aside from the Yankees?
Yeah, that's true.
At this
I'm
point,
surprised the
yeah.
Yankees re-signed him this year.
Yeah, honestly, they're just doing it for sentimentality, I guess.
Yeah, that was a big mistake. Didn't he bat like 170 all year?
Yeah, God, I don't know.
That was a rough one.
Yeah.
But
Do you guys see
yeah,
the
I'd put them in wild
Yankees?
cards.
Yeah, I think so too.
So what do you say?
Wild card, like definitely like their lineup. They have some good pitching. Yeah, just need to see some bounce back performances out of some of their bigger name guys.
At least they pay well.
True.
Yeah.
Where were we putting him? In the wild card?
Oh,
Yeah, I think
wild cards. Yeah.
In between?
We're in between
Further?
the Cardinals and Mariners.
Especially considering their division, they're definitely not. When they're probably the third best team in the division.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll just try to push through for these last few here. Next up with the Mets. The New York Mets on the other side of NL East. Even though they are also third, they did not get into the playoffs. They ended up 77 and 85.
Yeah, they kind of had another similar thing with the Padres, right? They kind of
They
went
they
through
were
a
the
big
Mets.
slump.
They did the Mets thing, and they did the Mets. They Metsed it up.
Yeah, they're the Mets basically.
They kind of floundered it off, but definitely the most improved team, I think, coming out of the offseason so far. I mean, they added Max Scherzer and Starling Marte and somebody else that I'm not thinking of.
You got Mark Canha and
yeah.
Eduardo Escobar.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, forgot about
Which,
Escobar. Yeah, that's a
I
lot
think-
of good pieces. I like all those guys. Yeah, and add that on to. I really like their lineup. You know, Pete Alonso. I love Jeff McNeil. Conforto, I guess, is a free agent, and you can't really count on him going back to the Mets. What else they got there? Dom Smith.
They got Jacob deGrom, Francisco Lindor. They got Robinson Cano technically.
Yeah. Don't sleep on Cano. He could still probably bat. I could see him hitting 270, 280, giving you maybe 20
Oh, for sure,
home
yeah.
run, 25.
Yeah, for sure. They got James McCann and Brandon Nimmo. I like Brandon Nimmo. He's
I really like Brandon Nimmo, actually, yeah.
They got Dom Smith, Lucchese. You got Edwin Diaz still, Trevor May. They got
Diaz is
these-
really starting to look more like the Mariners version of himself more and more now, so I'm happy
Yeah.
to see good closer. I mean, DeGrom and Max Scherzer are at the top of the rotation. I mean, you can't really beat that.
Yeah, that's a 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I guess all the Mets really are hoping for is just some bounce back performances. Lindor and Pete Alonso.
Which Lindor, I think I still expect to have some good years ahead of him.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
They're just trying to have the miracle again.
Yeah. I've seen some reports that Jeff McNeil might be on the block. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, losing him isn't going to completely tank the roster, but that's still a pretty big piece to lose.
Well, with the addition of Canha and Marte, and then you have Escobar in the infield, you've kind of build all the positions that Jeff McNeil would kind of rove around. So I think they kind of
That's true.
figured you can kind of take him out at this point. Really like Jeff
That's true,
McNeil.
yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, I like what they've done in the offseason so far. They're definitely, I don't know, I think I would probably put them in wild cards, would you say?
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild cards. Alrighty. Put them there. Alright, next up is the Angels. The Los Angeles Angels, or Anaheim Angels, or whatever you want to call it. They ended up 4th in the AL West, finishing 77 and 85 with their MVP, Shohei Ohtani, which was the only name that anybody knew of from if you didn't watch MLB or any of the baseball stuff. What are you guys' takes?
They've always been an interesting team for me. 'Cause they've always
they have the same problem every single year. They just never have starting pitching. They don't have that great of a bullpen, and that remains true now. They have the 2 best players in baseball, and just can't quite figure it out otherwise.
Was Mike Trout ever good at all last year? I thought he was hurt.
He was hurt for a lot of the year.
He was hurt, yeah. But when he was on the field, he was Mike Trout.
He had a great start to the year. He was a stud. So yeah, he'll come back healthy. He'll have Shohei Ohtani still. Anthony Rendon is still there, and who's still a very good player, but he also was injured and did not perform well when he was healthy. So if they can get anything remotely close to a normal Rendon season out of him, that would be a big benefit.
Offense has never been their issue necessarily.
No, and it's still pretty solid.
But it's still
Is
pretty
Justin
solid.
Upton still? Is he a free agent yet, or do they still have him?
They still have him. He's probably going to play left for them. I like Walsh, Jared Walsh. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a hot start. He
He was pretty good.
I'm not high on him. I don't see him as a stud. I think I think that was kind of a flash in the pan. But yeah, definitely a solid player.
Yeah.
I like Max Stassi, catcher.
Oh yeah. Although I don't know if they see him as like a future piece, but he's a good short-term bat for them. They definitely took care of some of their pitching needs. They signed Noah Syndergaard and Michael Lorenzen to 1-year deals. Yeah. To shore up the.
Lorenzen is interesting. He's never been a stud, but I like his stuff, and I'm curious to see how he plays. And I know he has kind of that two-way thing going on too. I don't know if they plan on having him bat and pitch. I don't know how far that's going to go, but.
Yeah. They re-signed Iglesias to a 4-year deal. Which.
He's really good.
Yeah. So no problems with the closer there for a while, and then they signed Aaron Loop to a 2-year deal.
It's a good pickup, right?
Low key lefty pickup there, lefty specialist probably at best.
Yeah, they could probably use a little bit more bullpen help, and probably in an ideal world, another couple, 1 or 2 starters. I do like Patrick Sandoval. He has really good stuff. At least just watching him pitch against the Mariners, I liked what I saw out of him.
Oh yeah.
He has kind of like number 4, maybe 3 potential, kind of looks like. Yeah, for me, God, that's hard to say. Picking up Noah Syndergaard is interesting. You never know how his health is going to be. I don't know, would you say middle to close to a wild card?
I feel like every year they kind of have wild card potential. And I feel like this year's no different. But
they objectively have the 2 best players in baseball, and it's just so weird that they could never get out of mediocrity.
Yeah. Well, I mean, getting out of Pujols' contract.
Yeah, they've got some more.
Gives them definitely more flexibility. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they're probably not done in terms of this offseason either. But man, that's tough. They're right on that line for me between mid and wild card.
Mid or wild card?
I'd say
I would still go wild card, but a very low wild card.
Yeah, they'd be at the end, whatever the side is of the lowest. Yeah.
Put it right over there. Okay, The next up is the Kansas City Royals. Kansas City Royals was from the AL Central. They came in 4th, ending at 74-88. I think they fought bravely at the end, I think. Maybe. I thought they were a hot team somewhere sometime in like the September, October time.
Whenever they played us.
Or August. Yeah, when they were playing us, they were basically had a stretch of like just wins.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the help of a monster season by Perez.
Yeah, out of nowhere, yeah.
But they have good position players. I feel like their pitching still needs some work.
Is it Nicky? What is his last name?
Nicky Lopez. Yeah, he had a great season.
He's a really interesting player. Lots of little guys like that who are just very quietly very good. But Merrifield's still pretty solid. Might be kind of towards the end of his prime, but very solid utility bat.
I like what's his name? Alberto Mondesi.
If he could hit a little bit,
I think he got his spot taken from. Yeah, he got his spot kind of taken by Nicky Lopez. Of course, he was, I think, hurt for a little bit of the year. But, I like Benintendi. That was a pretty interesting pickup by.
I really like that pickup for them because I'm pretty high on his bat, to be honest, and plays a solid left field. So, what else did they got there? Hunter Dozier, right?
Hunter Dozier, yeah.
He had kind of a down year, it seemed like, but I still like him overall.
I think he's more of a high pop, low contact kind of hitter.
Yeah, it seems like. Yeah.
Then they got Michael Taylor, which is high contact, low pop.
Yeah.
Although I'm not sure about contact either. He's always been kind of middle.
Kind of hit or miss type.
Yeah. Their problem is, I think, pitching. Like, I just don't see a good pitching staff. Like, they have Brady Singer and Lovelady and the other pitcher. What's his name? I like their bullpen, though. They have Stalmont, Brad Keller. They have Mike Minor, I think.
He's probably a decent number 4 or 5 for you at this point, but yeah.
Yeah. Chris Boujuke, that's what I was thinking of. He's a pretty interesting lefty. Scott Barlow had a pretty decent season in the bullpen. So they've got pieces, but again, there's. I'd put them in, just first base. They're still a couple years away, I think.
Yeah, they can almost. They're close to getting out of that tier for me, but they'd also be just first base.
Yeah, I argue maybe even just 1 year away if they. If they can get some better performances out of their pitching, I think.
So we're gonna go put them in the first base area, right there.
Yeah.
All right. Next up is the Cleveland Guardians. Yes, this is the logo for the Indians, but this is the Guardians. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
He didn't really do much in the offseason as of yet. Nothing much there.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I totally forgot to say, the Indians came up almost close to 500. They went 80-82, second in AL Central.
Yeah, and they're not looking like they're in a rebuild mode to me either, so I think they'll keep on going,
I mean, you think that they're going to try to max out what they can get out of Jose Ramirez, or is he's only like 1 year removed? So
yeah, it doesn't seem like they're ready to trade him based on what I've been seeing. So, I mean, that would kind of be the bellwether for me, right? Like Jose Ramirez would probably be the first one to drop. But,
yeah, I mean, are they kind of banking on a pretty weak division again next year that they think they still have a chance?
Apparently, their division's not as weak as you would have thought so at the beginning of last year, but I guess that's kind of the thought process. But I guess we'll see how the rest of the offseason plays out.
As far as their current roster, Um, obviously Ramirez. I think
Yeah.
they traded the other Ramirez too, the Harold Ramirez.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of an underrated little bat. Yeah, pretty good outfielder. Um,
I really
Yeah.
like Ahmed Rosario.
yeah.
Once they picked him up,
Mhm.
and that's pretty good.
Yeah,
They have
so-
Shane Bieber, obviously.
Mhm.
Who's the other pitcher?
Who
Zach
else? Like,
Plesac or whatever.
Plesac, yeah, pretty good.
Savali.
Yeah, they still have good prospects coming up. Plesac, Cal Quantrill's still there. Logan Allen.
Yeah.
Who's
Logan
that? The
Allen.
Claser? Is it Class A? Emmanuel Class A?
Yeah. Emmanuel Clase. And I really like Karinchak too.
Mhm.
A little bit of a strange delivery. I like it.
Tristan. Is it Tristan? McKenzie is last.
Oh, Tristan McKenzie. The guy
Yeah,
who
he's
looks
pretty-
like a freaking twig.
Yeah, yeah. He's 6'4", 95 pounds. Yeah.
Jeez.
But yeah, he's pretty good looking. To me, looks like maybe a solid middle of the rotation type pitcher.
I'm not as high on him. I'd say maybe like a bottom end starter, but for
Yeah.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
They have some like middle of the road guys too in the outfield. They have like Josh Miller. I really
Yeah.
like Bradley Zimmer, but I just don't know if the bat is really promising. But
They did get Miles Straw, who is basically Bradley Zimmer with a bat. Well, maybe. With a
oh,
bat.
that's true. Yeah.
Did one have
Yeah.
one last year. But like, yeah, that's definitely an upgrade out there. Josh Naylor, I just don't. I wouldn't have him in the outfield. I don't know. He's just not. If you could find a replacement for him, I'd probably do that. But
Yeah. I mean, where would you really play him though? Like,
not on my
he's
team
like-
probably. But
well,
yeah,
okay,
I guess
sure.
first base would be. Yeah, first base,
base.
corner outfield, I guess, left field. But,
Yeah, let's say
yeah, they
probably
got
left
Fernando
field.
Reyes still there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I mean, he's probably DH all the way, but
Yeah. You can have him stand out in left field, I guess.
yeah, just stand there.
Yeah.
Based on everything that you guys are saying, they are a mid team to me. For how mediocre their outfield sounds, or
That's about right.
Yeah, they have
just
some
know-
holes, but I do like the rotation quite a bit. Pitching is always kind of their strong suit, and it holds up pretty well. So I'd say they're
They-
solidly in
yeah.
mid-tier.
Now they realistically could be a wild card team, but I just I don't see enough pieces yet.
at least not yet.
Good surprises though. You never know.
You know what team has a ton of pieces? The Toronto Blue Jays. The Toronto
I
Blue
said
Jays went 91-71. They missed the playoffs. They are one of the teams that should have made the playoffs, but didn't. Their roster is, I don't know, looking at these awards and honors, they are literally on each one, or at least two on each one of these pages. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, they got a pretty stacked team on paper for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. They lost Marcus Simeon, but that's honestly they are going to be able to absorb that pretty well, I think. What moves have they done so far in the offseason?
And they lose Ray, but they signed Cosmo.
So kind of lateral move-ish.
Yeah, and they signed Barrios to an extension too. I'd say very team friendly.
Yeah.
7-year, $131 million. So yeah, I'd say that's a pretty team friendly deal.
That's pretty good for he's probably number 2, and in terms of AAV, that's probably pretty generous. Yeah.
Yeah. After that, the pitching, they have Hyunjin Ryu, Alec Manoa, and
really good year out of him. He was a rookie of the year contender.
Yeah, he's got a pretty darn good mix of off-speed pitches, actually.
This guy who's really looks like he's a really power hitter, Vladimir Guerrero.
Yeah, he had a monster year.
Is he?
Yeah, pretty good all-around hitter. Actually. Yeah, definitely developing into one of the better hitters in the league.
Yeah, I mean they got like their top 3 hitters in the lineup are just just monsters. They have Boujuke, George
Yeah.
Springer, and Vlad Guerrero. I know George Springer got hurt for a majority of the year, but
He
my
looked
healthy
really
on
good
this
when he
team,
came back.
yeah, he was. Yeah, he raked for sure. They got who's the other guy? Teoscar Hernandez had an All-Star year too,
Yeah,
out of nowhere.
he's like one of the really underrated player. Yeah, really good corner outfielder, good bat.
Kevin Biggio, I think they're still waiting for the bat to come around with him,
Yeah,
but I still like the tools, you know.
Yeah, I definitely like the tools. I'm not on high. He's definitely not in the same tier as like the Boujuke and the other children of former All Stars, but he's yeah. Hopefully the bat comes around and he can be a pretty good utility kind of superior utility type is what I see him as.
Yeah, I mean, being able to play in the Rogers Center again probably definitely helped out their offensive numbers, especially like Randall Grichuk and Hernandez and stuff. But
Although playing in that AAA ballpark in Buffalo, I don't know what the park factors were, but it looked like a pretty small park. It seemed like they were just kind of playing softball.
that's true, yeah.
But yeah, hitter-friendly ballpark, definitely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, freaking every ball Vladdy hit looked like he was just playing softball.
Yeah.
So.
I hate playing softball in like a beer league.
Of course. One main issue though with the Blue Jays is that they play in a stacked AL East. Like, will they be able to get over, above, the Red Sox or the Yankees? That's a whole team dynamic.
Yeah, that kind of screwed
I
them
can
over. That's
definitely
what
see him
screwed them
getting
over
over
this
the
year.
Yankees. The other three are a little more questionable.
I can see him surpassing the Yankees for sure. Maybe the Red Sox.
Yeah, I could definitely see the Red Sox going past them.
But
I like Hyun-Jin Ryu. Nate Pearson's still there. I'm pretty high on him.
oh, that's right. Yeah, they signed Yimi Garcia as well to a couple-year deal.
Yeah, good, really solid.
Oh, that's a pretty good one.
I would put them in what's the second tier? Out of the park. Yeah,
Out of the park.
Yeah, I would agree.
I'd agree too. They're definitely not better than the Rays, and Red Sox are iffy, but can definitely beat the Yankees. Put them there. Should I put them there?
They're a team that if they actually make it to the playoffs, like I can see them actually going all the way.
Mm-hmm. Well, one team that didn't go all the way, but did make the playoffs was the Chicago White Sox as our next team. They went 93-69, won the AL Central handedly. What are they? Who are they?
Pretty good.
They're a team that I feel like is overperformed based on the fact that they're in a very weak division. Otherwise, I don't think they're that much of an eye-popping team.
I do really like their lineup though, and their pitching is coming around. They could definitely use maybe another starter.
Definitely they, Moncada and Anderson and Abreu, Robert, Jimenez too, I think. So
even Grandal, even probably one of the better hitting catchers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they have him too. What was the deal with the Mercedes guy? Is he still with the organization?
I don't know. Last I heard of him, he had retired from baseball. I want to say it was some sort of he just needed a break mentally. He was having some sort of personal issue. I don't know where he is with that, but because he went back down to AAA, and I don't know what happened to him. He had that hot start, but kind of fizzled out. I don't know where he is in the organization now.
I'm looking at the roster now, and I rescind my earlier statement because now I'm looking at their pitching staff, and it's pretty stacked.
Oh yeah, Giolito, Dylan Cease is good. You even look at their
Yeah,
bullpen. They added Kendall Graveman. You got Liam Hendricks, one of the probably top three relievers in the game. You got
Craig
Kimbrel at the back end
Kimbrel,
too. Kopech.
Kopech, yeah, Dallas Keuchel, Lance Lynn.
Is Dallas Keuchel still decent? What did he do last year?
He he wasn't like amazing, I don't think, but
Kind of back end of
he
the
was,
season.
yeah, but
Yeah,
still pretty good.
their bullpen is pretty stacked. If they were to add
They
another
got it.
starter, I think they'd be a pretty good
Yeah,
team. They would be out of the park for me if they were to add another starter, I think.
yeah. They got Garrett Crochet too, the little rookie who throws like
Yeah.
100.
Even Andrew Vaughn's a kind of an interesting outfield prospect at bat coming
Yeah,
in.
they got a couple of interesting guys, Andrew Vaughn, and they got Zach Collins. I think is the wild card for me.
Yeah. Doesn't it seem like not that many people talk about Yohan Moncada anymore, even though he's very quietly one of the better players in baseball?
Yeah, I mean he's obviously overshadowed by Anderson and Abreu
Yeah,
and
there's so many other
Robert.
personalities there, and the
Yeah,
two, yeah, Robert and Eloy. But
but
yeah, man, I don't
yeah,
know.
I would
I could almost talk myself into putting them out of the park, right?
I mean, in their
yeah,
division,
that's
they
what I was
are out of the park.
in their division for sure. Yeah, but even taking that out of the equation, like I'm looking at the roster right now, and it looks pretty
Pretty good.
like a force to be reckoned with. Like
Their
Definitely.
bullpen is like
especially on the
really
pitching
stacked.
side. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's like I mean, if you want to take the starter out of the game, like I'd rather keep the starter in the game.
yeah,
Looking at
right.
the
Yeah, I think I would put them out of the park.
All right, I'll
yeah,
put them out of the park. I'll put them right there, based on their division. Uh, Same division, different outcome. Detroit Tigers. They went 77 and 85, third in the division. Still a very mid team to me. They're not overly the best usually, at least the past few years. Well, looking at any of the award stuff, nothing for the Tigers. No big names, at least on my end here.
I feel like they're pretty close to contention, though. To be honest.
Yeah, a lot of really solid players. No stud, but lots of good. I like Nico Goodrum's pretty interesting little player. Robbie Grossman's very solid, even though he might be a free agent. But or no, maybe he's still there. But
Yeah, he's still there.
okay, yeah.
They acquired Tucker
Candelario.
Barnhart, Candelario. Yep. Akil Badu is an interesting player.
That's right. Yeah.
They have is Scope still there?
Yeah, they re-signed him, I think.
Yeah. And of course Cabrera,
Yeah.
who needs a ring. I think he already has one, but whatever. With the Marlins or whatever.
I don't see them going for a ring anytime soon, but
Yeah, but
definitely,
they're trying. I mean,
definitely
they're
coming up there. Casey Mize
Yeah.
won some stuff. He was the top prospect.
and Spencer Turnbull.
Yeah, pretty solid.
He hit the Mariners.
Yeah, sure did.
Oh yeah, good memories.
Yeah, decent pieces,
Decent.
but I would say they're not too far from contention, but they are not
Yeah,
within contention.
Okay.
would you put them in mid yet? Maybe mid.
Yeah, I would put them in mid
Yeah,
because they're definitely
they're
like
definitely a low. They're a lower mid though.
they're a lower. Yeah, they're lower than
They're behind the Cleveland for sure.
yeah, but that they're way closer to contention than the Diamondbacks or the Royals. So
Yeah.
All right. Next up is the AL West division leader, as well as the second place runner-up in the World Series. We got the Houston Astros that finished 95 and 67. Big powerhouse again, basically, at least for this division for a couple years now. Couple words
And
about
probably
him,
this year again.
and just saying, yeah, the Astros are gonna win again.
Yeah, even losing not Verlander, losing Greinke, and Yimi Garcia or whatever, like, and Correa, like, I still think they're a top tier team.
It's just Kyle Tucker is turning out to be a stud. Yordan Alvarez, though limited mobility, he might be more of a DH kind of going forward, but yeah, he's really good bat.
Yeah, they just always seem to have somebody ready to replace somebody who's leaving.
I mean, the rotation's still really solid. McCullers is a really good number 2, can push a number 1 on some days. What else is there? Is it Garcia? You got
Gurriel, who won first base, Gold Glove.
Oh yeah, at 38 years old or whatever, and he's still somehow the best hitter.
Showing no signs of slowing down.
Yeah. Even like, you know, Maldonado, who's obviously a defense first, you know.
Yeah, but they do love his defense.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not going to steal on him for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they still, you know, their bullpen's still, you know, pretty short up. They got Stanek and Presley, so.
Yeah, all those guys are still there. Who plays center field for them now? Because I know they lost Miles Straw.
Oh, that's true. Who is actually?
They have a way of like they'll call up a guy that I've never heard of, and he'll be hitting like 300 2 months into the season or something.
Yeah, I was about to say, wasn't it like? Yeah, wasn't like Chas McCormick or he played left for them? It was like Jake Myers, right?
Yeah.
Jake Myers, I got called up or whatever, and he hit like 310 or whatever.
Yeah, I know. Those sound like creative players from like MLB The Show. They don't sound like real people that they call up. But yeah, they'll find somebody.
They have a DH, Alvarez. Yordan Alvarez.
Yeah. Well, long term, he's definitely a DH type player.
Yeah.
They've gotten away with him in left, but because it's such a short portion left. But.
But he's one of those guys where he can have the DH position if need be, because he's enough of a bat to where.
Yeah, for sure. Other than that, I mean, other than Korea, I mean, the same trio quartet of guys are there. So.
And yeah, they're definitely a powerhouse here.
It wouldn't surprise me if that's a lot of money they have available now. They almost certainly will go out and buy, whether it's another starter, another bat, something to fill up those holes.
Are they a Grand Slam team again, or just out of the park?
I think they are. They are. Even losing Greinke and Correa, I think they still got a pretty complete team.
Yeah. They might be a tad lower on the Grand Slam scale for me now, but yeah, they're probably in that category still.
I mean, yeah, I'd say they're. Yeah, I mean, they're probably.
I'd put them
probably better than. Yeah, I was about to say they're better than the Red Sox. Maybe not as good as the Rays.
Yeah, so right. Yeah, right there.
Right there. Okay. Well, the next one, I'm just doing this for my own sake, but I don't like the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pittsburgh Pirates went 61 and lost 101 in the NL Central. You guys can't tell me that they're not a slump team.
You just lost all your fans in Pittsburgh, dude.
Screw them.
All of him.
The Pittsburgh Pirates, in history, have been terrible. I have never seen the Pirates be good. I will never see the Pirates be good. The Pirates are my Cleveland Browns until the last year.
Yeah, I mean they're.
Baltimore, but sure.
I'd put them ahead of Baltimore for sure. Yeah.
Well. Yeah, there you go.
Like Brian Reynolds, and I guess they traded Stone.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, other than Reynolds, because they traded Stallings.
Brian Hayes. Yeah. You know what? I'm pretty high on him. I feel like he's gonna have a breakout year. He's a stud at third base, and I do see the bat coming along too. So yeah, he'll be a really good third baseman.
Yeah. Cole Tucker as well. And they have Ben Gamble too. Remember him?
Yeah. He's always decent wherever he goes, Ben Gamble. I wouldn't mind him on the team now, to be honest. Fine.
The thing is, like, Pittsburgh just doesn't really have any like flashy names, you know. But
You could
but
say Brian Reynolds. He played.
You could say Brian
like a
Reynolds.
flashy name. Yeah, I mean, I'll have to see another like a prove it type year, you know.
Mhm.
But still,
That's
who is the
true. Yeah.
reliever they have? Is it Rodriguez? Is that his name? Pretty good back of the rotation guy.
Rodriguez.
Well, looking at here, Pittsburgh, Jacob Stallings was good, and then he went to the Marlins.
Miami, yeah.
And then we got Brian Hayes. It's a third base.
He's going to be a cornerstone piece for them. Same with Reynolds and is it Richard Rodriguez? Am I thinking of that right?
Rick Ross.
I guess.
No.
Might as
Bryce
well.
Wilson, Mitch Keller, Will Crow. They signed Jose Quintana, Zach Thompson. Kevin Newman, I forgot about him. J.D. Brubaker, Sam Howard.
I'm struggling with all those names.
Yeah, like I said, they don't really have like big names. Maybe it's because they're in the opposite division of the team we root for, but or opposite league rather. But
they've got a couple cornerstone. Like they've definitely got a couple guys they're going to start building around. But yeah, they've got a ways to go.
They're definitely probably 2, maybe 3 years at least from.
Probably 3.
Yeah.
And that's why I put them there for you guys. Okay, so the next up is Milwaukee Brewers, who were the first place team in the NL Central. Milwaukee Brewers ended up 95-67. And
They'll probably be like that again.
Yeah.
They got beaten out in the division series by the Braves. And
Which will probably happen again
well,
if it happens.
I mean,
Yeah.
the Cardinals would be the ones hyping up, into the Brewers, chances of being first.
Yeah, they'll be right around each other.
Yeah, they'll be the team to beat.
What off-season additions have they made?
They traded for Hunter Renfroe, which will add some offense for sure.
That's it.
They'll be limited as far as like with no DH in the National League, because Renfroe isn't necessarily the best defender anywhere. But
there's a decent chance there will be a DH in the NL though, based on how it was going. But but
if it happens for sure.
But as things are now, defensively limited.
This looks like they signed a couple catchers. They signed Pedro Severino and Brett Sullivan to 1-year deals, which they have Narvaez.
I was gonna say, are they not liking Narvaez's defense? Which I thought I had heard that he had made kind of a bit of a improvement defensively. Still a really good hitter, like he has been. But
yeah, well, I guess they don't really have a backup, right? Well, they have Tyrone Taylor then in the minors, don't they? I guess they're still waiting on him.
yeah.
But one thing that really stands out for the Brewers has always been their pitching.
Mm-hmm.
So Corbin Burns, and they have Josh Hader as their closer.
Mm-hmm. Devin Williams.
Devin Williams, yeah. Joey.
Yeah, they have some beasts.
Not Joey. What's his name? Freddie Peralta. The former.
And who's the guy? Is it Brett? No.
Brandon Woodruff.
Brandon Woodruff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good season out of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what Christian Yelich is anymore. If he's still MVP caliber, but
he had a down year. Is that what happened this year? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was just every guy goes through a slump. I think that was just his rough year. Hopefully, right? Because I really like him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they lost Avi Garcia, but who I like.
That's true.
Bit,
yeah. I mean, I guess you replace him.
In his place.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I like Avi more than I like Renfroe, but in terms of all-around game. But still, really good lineup, solid front half of the rotation. deep bullpen.
Yeah. I'll put them in. I don't think they're out of the park necessarily, though. I would put them in wild card.
Next
they're
to
right around the Cardinals.
Yeah, they'll probably get next to them. We'll give them the benefit of doubt. Right there. Next up, last two. Yes, three maybe, but two. The Washington Nationals. The Washington Nationals went. Where are they? Oh, at the bottom. NL East. Bottom team, Washington Nationals, ended 65-97. Almost got to 100 losses. Almost.
They tried. Yeah.
Could have got to it. Nationals, weirdly, they do have a couple of people on their first team, MLB. Juan Soto. And then I think they got somebody else. I don't know.
I don't really know what to make of the Nationals, because...
Yeah, it's hard. There's a lot of guys that I kind of like who are, Victor Robles has always been interesting to me. Juan Soto is Juan Soto. He's an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
Josh Bell is kind of up and down. I'm not too high on him. You did get Kyber Ruiz in the Scherzer trade. I like him a lot as their catcher going forward. So, see how he's doing this upcoming season. He'll probably get a lot of playing time. Carter Kieboom hasn't quite panned out for them yet, but I still kind of like him.
I would say they're hoping for bounce back performances from Patrick Corbin, and I think they re-signed Alcides Escobar too.
God, Patrick Corbin is looking rough. Oof.
Yeah. How did Steven Strasburg do for them last year?
Was he injured for quite a bit of the year?
I believe so.
I know it wasn't a good year for him.
As far as the pitching department, not much going on there besides him. They have Kyle Finnegan. They have Joe Rose. Will Harris in the bullpen, pretty solid there.
Yeah, it's good.
Eric Fetty. Yeah, just not a lot going on. I mean, I don't know if they're necessarily rebuild stage, but they should be.
They're definitely in the stage where they're developing a lot of young major leaguers.
Yeah,
like Andrew Stevenson, even though he's not that young anymore.
Lane Thomas. Yeah. It's you don't want to waste Juan Soto, but they just don't have anyone around him.
Yeah, they're still a few years away. Alcides is that the Alcides Escobar that's on the team right now?
Yeah, from the Royals and stuff. Yeah, I think they re-signed him for 1 year.
Jesus.
And I don't think he did that well last year.
No, I didn't even think he was still in the league.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that? I
would say just first base.
I'd agree. Yeah.
Just first base.
But but I think they're better than the Diamondbacks. Maybe not as good as the Royals.
They're leading off first base a little bit.
Last, but definitely not least, Chicago Cubs. The Chicago Cubs finished 4th on the NL Central. They finished 71-91. The all-important Cubs.
They made a lot of moves before the lockout happened. They signed Stroman to a 3-year deal, which I like that move.
Mm-hmm.
They signed Yan Gomes, who I really like, actually.
Yeah, I kind of wanted the Mariners to go after Yan Gomes, to be honest, for a 1 or 2 year deal.
Yeah. Clint Frazier, was that from the Yankees, right? He signed a 1 year deal.
Yeah, see what some playing time does for him. Yeah.
So I guess,
Interesting.
And then they're
kind of in a weird middle stage, though. They're not quite, They could go. They kind of were going through a rebuild, but they're kind of not now. And I don't know. I don't see a whole lot there, to be honest. But
I mean, they're still, they got some nice pieces at the trade deadline, though, which was interesting. They had Nick Madrigal from the White Sox.
Oh, that's true. I like him. Yeah.
Really like him. They got Mr. Frank Schwindel Nico Horner, I really like. I really like David Bodie. And
Zai.
Ian Happ. Did I already say that? Wilson Contreras, although I don't know if he's still going to be a Cub by the end of the offseason.
His
That's still
final
up in
year.
the air.
We'll see if they trade him, what they try to get out of him. I do like, one of the better catchers.
Yeah. Patrick Wisdom, somehow, for whatever reason, found it this year. But
yeah, wise
last
move
year
keeping
there.
him.
Yeah. As far as the pitching after Stroman, what do you have? I mean, Kyle Hendricks. I mean, he seems to always do pretty good every year.
Yeah, he's like a high floor, low ceiling. He's a good number 4 to 3 for any team, Maybe
They
4.
claimed Wade Miley from the Reds, who I
don't
forgot what.
understand. Why did the Reds do that? That was such a weird move.
Yeah, it was weird. I don't know.
Pitcher who was worth 5 wins above replacement last year.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they were thinking you could pass them through waivers, but obviously not.
All right, with all that said, are the Cubs just a mid-team, just at best?
They're a high, just first base, low, mid.
Yeah, I was going to say, at the best, they're a mid-team.
In this chart here, yes, I'm missing a team. The team is the Texas Rangers. Texas Rangers went 60
Corey Seager
and 102, so their losses. Never mind,
They lost
go ahead.
a lot.
Yeah.
They signed Corey Seager to 10 years. Obviously, they signed Marcus Semien to 7 years, John Gray for 4 years, and Calhoun for 1 year. After those first 3 names, I don't know. It's like I still felt like it was too early for them to make these big moves, but I mean, they're not going to be free agents again next year.
You don't have those quite equivalents next year. They probably made that calculation, so just build around them for a couple years.
Yeah. I mean, these players obviously make the team better, but are they going to go from 62 to 92? No, but it's a good step in the right direction for them for sure.
I to be honest, I don't even know if I'd put them in that mid tier because I really don't like their pitching.
No.
Starting or in their bullpen, and definitely have a lot of lineup holes too. Outside
for sure,
or the middle of the lineup. So, like Nate Lowe's an interesting guy over at first base.
Yeah, Kiner Falefa, they kind of build around him.
I like him. Really good. Plays all around. Super utility because he can play catcher a little bit.
And what's the catcher's name? Trevino?
Garcia.
Oh, Adolis Garcia, yeah.
He was tanked in the second half, but he'll probably get a decent little center fielder for them.
Just their pitching. They had a lot of bad pitching. Fultonavich and Allard. They had like 15 lost seasons or whatever. I mean,
when John Gray is lining up to be your ace, you've got problems. For me, they're probably in the just first base tier. Maybe on the higher side of that because they do have those 2 guys in the lineup now. But
in between the Royals and the Nats, I'd say.
They will be. They should be competitive overall, especially with the added arsenal that they're going to bring in. They'll be a great division for the AL West this year, hopefully, as long as the season starts. 2022. This is the MLB 2022 tier list. It's a 2-hour recording, but I mean, that's just how it is. I'm your host,
Boujuke.
Daniel, right here from Boujuke Productions. Joining me was Arash. Anything last to say?
No, this was fun.
it's fun. We'll have to do some more MLB list, and I will come on anytime you do that.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I could not contribute as much as I wanted to because MLB is just not my thing. But if I do an NFL tier list, you'll see me doing it again. I don't know if I'll do it again this year. This was a great podcast. If you guys want to see any more of these things or more podcasts, subscribe to my channel. It's Boujuke right there. Hit that like button. Hit that comment button if you agree or disagree. Thank you very much for watching / listening to this podcast. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.